Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is brought to you by Dead City Productions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talkin Anime. Hit the theme music. Konnichiwa, everyone, and welcome to Talkin Anime with your host, me. It's Mitch, everybody. I hope you guys are excited for the first, that's right, the #1 episode of Talkin Anime. I know I am super stoked to be here, and I hope you guys are super stoked for future content brought to you through podcasts and through the wonderful world of YouTube. That is right, everybody. If you dig this product, you can get it not only in podcast form, but it will also be released on YouTube the day after. So you're listening to this on Thursday through podcast, but, maybe you missed something and didn't want to re-download the podcast. Well, you guys are in luck. YouTube. Links in the description for all my social medias. I'll let you guys know when the new episode drops. You can also check my socials for what I'm watching anime-wise, what I'm rating anime-wise. As of me recording this episode, I'm currently in the middle of watching Dragon Ball with my beautiful wife, and I'm also watching My Hero Academia. I'm about episode 80-something in now, about 80, 81, 82. I'm on season 4, everybody. I'm stoked. It's awesome. Deku is okay. All Might is the man, and Bakuga, the man. Anyways, guys, episode 1. What could we possibly talk about in episode 1, everybody? I know what we can talk about. It is the thing that brought you to this product. It is the thing that brought everybody, including this weeb hopeful, anime. And our conversation starts with, what is anime? And then, after talking about what is anime, some super popular animes, stuff like that, we'll go to a commercial. And then we will come back for my top 10 favorite animes. Okay, everybody. The question is, what is anime? Well, everybody, Wikipedia gives us the definition of this. Anime is hand-drawn and computer animation originating from Japan. The word anime is a Japanese term for animation, which refers to all forms of animated media. Outside Japan, anime refers to specifically to animation from Japan or a Japanese domestic or anywhere else that's heavily influenced by Japan. Anime styles usually are colorful graphics, vibrant characters, and fantastical themes. Well, everybody, I'm sorry that I flubbed some of this up. I'm keeping it in the mix because, you know what? Hell, let's deal with it. Now, the first question is, what was the first anime to ever come to the United States? Some people say it's Dragon Ball Z. Some people say it's Sailor Moon. Some people believe that it's actually Pokemon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the first actual anime to be introduced to the United States was in 1960, and that was Astro Boy. Astro Boy was the first animated to be introduced to America by a man named Fred Ladd, who was just a producer at the time. Ladd, however, is one to be credited to introduction of anime to the States altogether and not just for Astro Boy. Well, guys, the thing with Astro Boy is that as much of a cultural, needle mover that it was, sadly enough, Astro Boy didn't actually do really well. And it kind of fizzled away, I think, near the end of the 60s, going into the 70s. And then the question is, well, whatever happened to anime? Well, anime was still like around in Japan, but we didn't have anything in the 60s or later until about like the 80s when the shows Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball at the time, both came into North America television. And Sailor Moon was doing okay at the time, but the thing that really moved the needle to the point where it's huge for everyone was Dragon Ball Z. Now, a lot of people state that Dragon Ball Z is like their intro to anime in general, and I'd say that is essentially where I'm at because I grew up. I was born in the 90s, like early 90s. I started watching anime in like 2000, 2002, and that was Dragon Ball. I was watching Dragon Ball every morning before school. It was Dragon Ball, then it'd be Dragon Ball Z, and then those were like the two big ones, and then I'd watch Pokemon. I'm kind of not a huge fan of Sailor Moon. My wife is, though, but I do understand the significance of Sailor Moon as a product, which, don't get me wrong, is actually a pretty half-decent product. I've rewatched it with my wife as of late, and it's a good show. Again, it's got its own dedicated audience, but again, all animes in one way or the other are aimed towards a certain audience. Future episodes, I'll be talking about the animes, what they're like, what a shonen is, what like all those other terms for animes that are dedicated to a certain audience. Those will be in future episodes. Today, though, is talking about what is anime and my top 10 favorite animes. Again, these episodes probably won't be like super long because I'm actually re-uploading these essentially to YouTube as well. So there won't be like 45-minute podcast episodes. The most I'll try and make them is like a 20-minute episode and whatnot. This is just an introduction to it. If you guys enjoy this, tell me. You guys can even give me content that you want me to, like an anime to watch and review. I have a plan to watch the worst anime ranked on Mal. I'm probably aiming to watch it this week, and then hopefully have the next like few episodes. I'm trying to record episodes in a block because during this time I am a essential worker, quote unquote essential worker. So I don't have as much time as I want to dedicate to actually doing a podcast, but I still want to put something out. So I won't be talking about anime news or anything like that until my schedule lightens up a little bit where I can record frequently. But as of right now, I'm recording these in blocks and everything else. By the time this episode drops on my YouTube channel, there's actually going to be like 3 videos before it. I have some video game content recorded that's going to be coming out. All of it's anime themed. Again, it's surrounding anime. This is what this YouTube channel is about, anime and everything else. Anyways, guys, we're going to go to a break. Got a commercial for the podcast variation of this podcast. Again, you won't get the podcast on the YouTube version to this, but here is my podcast commercial. Here we go. Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that podcast on the podcast version of the show. And guys, if you are watching this on YouTube, do yourself a favor. Go like this podcast on your socials. You can find my personal channel on YouTube at Mitch Loves Anime. If you're not watching this, if you're on YouTube, go and find Talking Anime on your platform of choice. It should officially be out through everything, hopefully, by the time this drops, because I dropped an episode 0 before this, which was the introduction to everything. And then, of course, the outro, or this episode, will hopefully be on everything by the time this drops. Anyways, guys, now, what we're here to talk about, top 10 favorite animes of all time. I do have some some honorable mentions. Honorable mention number one is how how not to summon a demon lord. The reason why this doesn't make the list is because a lot of the shows that are going to be on this list are like older animes. They're not like as like new-ish as How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, but How Not to Summon a Demon Lord is actually a really good anime. If you're a fan of isekais, terms in a future episode. So isekai will be mentioned on what is an isekai, hopefully, and whatnot. And then the other one is I don't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defense. There's an actual name for it, but I don't want to try and figure out what it is. So here we go. Number 10, everyone. Number 10 is Kill la Kill. I recently watched this one. I recently actually finished it. Kill la Kill is an anime where it's basically your clothes are your power source. I would honestly give it a shot. I wouldn't say it's like a gateway anime. It's a good anime, but it's not a gateway anime. And it's an anime you want to watch by yourself because it is super sexually driven. Because there's Sailor Moon transformation scenes where it shows clothes getting super fucking tight. It is a good show, though. I would always suggest watching Kill la Kill. Number 9 is Bleach. I enjoy watching Bleach. It is, of course, I enjoy watching it. It's on my top 10. Yes, Bleach is one of those shows that's really hard to watch because of the fact that it has episodes of filler. Like, I get the concept of filler, that it's needed and it's necessary, but come on, it's bad. Naruto has it, all that shit, all of it has it. Number 8, guys, number 8 of favorite animes of all time, One Piece. Now, the reason why One Piece is on here at this high on the list, or low on the list, sorry, is simply because I was watching One Piece when it first started coming out, and I dropped it because I stopped watching anime for a couple years, which I'm still not proud of. But One Piece was a show that I loved at the time. I'm actually rewatching it after I'm done watching My Hero, which is going to be a pain in the butt because it's 900 plus episodes right now, but I watched the dubs, so I will go until the dubs are not around. Again, I will do an episode where I talk about dubs and subs. Anyways, number 7, Inuyasha. I thoroughly enjoy Inuyasha. This is one that my wife got me into. I watched a little bit of it when I first started watching anime, but I wasn't like super into it. But Inuyasha is good. It's, girl isekai'd into feudal era Japan, roughly. And she meets a demon guy named Inuyasha, and they go and find gems and stuff. Shards to make an all-powerful gem. Anyways, guys, the next episode, or the next anime. Number 6 of favorite anime of all time, everybody, is Death Note. Now, Death Note, I enjoyed watching it. It was one of the earlier ones that I got into, like, early on. It was like my first, like, darker anime-themed anime that I watched. And it's basically, the story is a guy gets a note, or a notebook where he can write their names into it, and basically people die. This anime has one of those influences on me because I'm working on a tabletop RPG using the Call of Cthulhu platform, where it's Death Note is like the center of what the theme is. Like the whole like enemy is based off of a Death Note idea. I'm currently working on that right now, so it is like it's a very hefty episode for me. But it's a really good show. I enjoyed watching it. I rewatched all of it with my wife recently, and I loved it. So, anyways, guys, number 5 favorite anime of all time is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, I watched the original and loved it, and then me and my wife went on Netflix and watched Brotherhood, which is a remastered version, I guess you can call it, with a little bit more detail in it. I enjoyed watching it. It's number 5 favorite anime of all time. You know, you can't go wrong with something that good. It's always a product that I've always enjoyed watching and everything else about it. I enjoy like the power system behind it. It's actually really good. Again, power systems will be in future episode. I don't know when it's going to be a future episode, but it is a future episode idea in hand. My number 4 favorite anime of all time is Hunter x Hunter. Now, I am talking about the 2011 version of it. I never watched I watched the first couple of the original episodes that I could find on YouTube, but I'm mainly talking the 2011 version. So it's it's a lot more like more condensed, or there's more info and stuff like that. It's a really good anime. It features around Gon Freaks, who's trying to become a hunter so he can get a hunter's license and go do missions and stuff, mainly to go and find his dad, Gene. And there's like a whole he goes and meets a whole bunch of people, like his Hisoka and all that fun stuff. It's a really good anime. The power system of Nen is actually really well structured, and it's probably one of the better power systems in all of anime. Like if we're talking about like chakra from Naruto, ki from Dragon Ball Z, alchemy from Full Metal Alchemist, all that stuff. It's a really good anime. I would honestly say Hunter x Hunter is probably your best gateway anime because it's got a little bit of everything for everyone. There's like a little bit of comedy. There's characters you can kind of like get attached to, and there's some characters that you can kind of relate with. And it's a really good anime. So I would honestly say that if you want to go and do a gateway episode, if you want to hear me do a gateway episode, I'll honestly do one in the future. But for now, like I said, Hunter x Hunter is number 4, and here is time for number 3. My third favorite anime, everybody, is a little anime known as Naruto. Now, this list will not have repeating franchises. So it will not have Naruto Shippuden, Naruto, and all that stuff. It's literally the Naruto franchise in a whole. I haven't watched Boruto, so I will not be counting Boruto in this list. But Naruto stars Naruto Uzumaki, the number 1 knucklehead of the Leaf Village, and his story on his rise to becoming Hokage, and his trials and tribulations, fights, everything else. Naruto is my 3rd favorite anime of all time. I enjoy the chakra power source, or the power system to this. It's, everyone has access to chakra. Everyone can manipulate it into whatever they can, and once you run out, you run out, except for Naruto. Naruto is OP for no good reason. Anyways, guys, 2nd favorite anime of all time. My number 2 favorite anime of all time, guys, is Heaven's Lost Property. Heaven's Lost Property is based off a light novel series, and not like a lot of people know of Heaven's Lost Property because of the fact that it is like a based off of a light novel, and not a lot of people like those kinds of animes. I enjoyed it because it was one of those like it had comedy to it. There's a little bit of fantasy, and it had a harem. And essentially what a harem is that your main character is surrounded by women all the time that like him in one form or the other. And this is a really good one. You get Tomaki, who is your main character, and this character is your stereotypical teenager who is controlled by his hormones. Like, it's a lot of the comedy is based off of him being just a super pervy character. Like, there's literally an episode, spoiler guys, that he gets his childhood friend to no longer wear weird animal covered panties. And every time she wore panties, they would get blown off of her body. Now, you ask yourself, how does this happen? Well, Tomaki gets Icarus, who is a cyborg angel, essentially, who you learn later on is actually like a weapon, and she has like this card that will grant any wish that he wants. And like the gauge, another episode that gauges this is like the first episode. He's literally freezes time and runs buck ass naked through all of the town that they're in. And it's just a bunch of just bizarre comedic parts here, comedic parts there. I liked it mainly because it was funny. But yeah, this is why Lost Property is like my second favorite anime of all time. And before I go into my number one favorite anime of all time, I need to do one more honorable mention. And that is for the show High School DD. Now, what can I talk about High School DD and why it's an honorable mention. It's not number one, but it's an honorable mention. The reason why it's an honorable mention is because this anime is, again, it's another comedic-based anime where your character is a super perv. I was watching this with my wife on a whim a couple weeks ago, and I was on my phone. I was playing. I have a game on my phone, Bleach Immortal Souls. In case anyone wants to follow or friend me, it's Yuto Maki on there. Anyways, the funny thing about that is that the character is like a super perv, and I was looking up from my phone. And they're looking through a hole in the wall, and it goes into the women's washroom, and I see tits, and I'm talking female breastises, everyone, nips and all. This show is like heavily fan serviced to the point that a lot of the female characters you see boobs and nips. You don't see that a lot in animes, everybody, except you're watching a hentai. Hentai is actually going to be a future episode where I explain to you fine folks listening to this what a hentai is and if it deserves to be called art. Anyways, guys, High School DD is actually a really good anime. It's got a really good story. Yes, it has nipples and stuff in it, but it is a good story. And one of my favorite voice actors, again, who I will talk in future episodes to or about, is in it. Again, I'll do a future episode where it's like my top 10 favorite voice actors in anime, and like my favorite character that they play and everything else. But yeah, that's a really good anime. If you're more used to anime and the whole harem aspect to it, because it is a harem, this is a good show for you. It's got like a good balance of comedy. There's like really good action in it. And yes, there is nipples and some like strong sexual urges. There's no humping in it. There's nothing like that in it. It's just a comedic podcast with, nipples and stuff in it. Anyways, guys, I hope you are ready for the number one favorite anime of all time. Can I get a drum roll, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, my number one favorite anime of all time is the Dragon Ball franchise. Now, the reason why this is my number one favorite anime of all time is because I grew up watching Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z every day growing up before school. I went to my grandparents' house before I went to school because my bus stop was nearby, watched Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z. And Dragon Ball Z has been a huge part of my life. And I have to say that that is the reason why it's number one. It's been the anime that I've always gone to on sick days to binge and be happy. It's the anime that I'm getting my wife into watching. And you can tell by the videos on my YouTube channel, if you watch this on YouTube, 2 of the games that get uploaded on there are Dragon Ball Z video games. Xenoverse 2 and Fighters. Now, I understand as a fan that Dragon Ball Z has its problems. Dragon Ball has its problems, and Super has its problems. Now, I don't watch those shows because of the problems. I enjoy the show because I love the characters. The character development in the show alone in Dragon Ball Z is amazing. You literally had 2 characters that were enemies turned good characters. All because they fought and lost, and then their lives changed after meeting Goku. Even be it good or be it bad, they changed. Vegeta. Again, this is a spoiler because the next episode that's coming out is favorite antagonists. Favorite protagonists. And Vegeta's number 1. Vegeta's my favorite anime character of all time because I loved the character development. Again, more details in the next episode after this one drops. Dragon Ball Z, again, it's been a part of my life for so long. It was the main reason why I bought Shonen Jump, was to actually read the manga for it. It was the driving force to me blowing my allowance on the video games. I had a couple of the cards. I had action figures from Dragon Ball Z. I had fucking stickers on my bedroom window of Dragon Ball Z. I have Dragon Ball Z movies. I have the dream of wanting to be in doing voiceover work because Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and even GT, even though GT is a hard subject to talk to about the fan base. I like it all, and it's just been a huge part of my life for so long. The video games, the show, the movies, the action figures, all of that stuff. And again, it was the show that got me into anime in a whole. And it's the show that I will always go back to when I want to watch anime. And for that, I have to thank Funimation, Akira Toriyama, the guy who created Dragon Ball Z. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a reason to enjoy anime. Like I said, it's difficult to talk about Dragon Ball Z because a lot of people don't like it because the characters are overpowered. The same thing can go for almost any shonen style anime. Bleach, Ichigo. Ichigo literally has every enemy they've fought in that anime. He has a form of it in him. He is the stereotypical overpowered character just to keep the story going. Goku's the same way, yeah, but again, at least Toriyama fixed that problem when he said that, the reason why Goku's so strong is because Goku's died a bunch of times, and Saiyans, they get stronger when they're either close to death or die. Like, hello? Vegeta's the same way. Vegeta has been killed, like, a bunch of times, and he's been revived a bunch of times. That's why he is stronger than... He's like the number 2 character in Dragon Ball Z behind Goku. That's a Saiyan and not like Beerus or Whis or Zeno or anyone else. It's because... And then, yeah, it's an anime that people will shit on. because there's no character development. Vegeta was literally an enemy guy who would go around destroying planets and selling them just to make money. Turns to a father and a husband. And you guys don't say there's character development in Dragon Ball Z? Piccolo. The dude literally was in Dragon Ball killing a shit ton of people. Yeah, sure, it's technically Kami, but it's Piccolo came from being in Kami. And they share the same background with that character. And that character was destroying, or he had a dark grip on the world in Dragon Ball. And, you know, it took Goku to defeat him. Like, they literally had no other way of defeating him or using the Dragon Balls. But guess what? Didn't work out. Because guess what? Spoilers. Piccolo got the Dragon Balls and actually got his wish, being one of the few evil characters in Dragon Ball to actually successfully get all 7 Dragon Balls and get their wish. Either way, guys, Dragon Ball Z, no matter how much people want to shit on it, it's my favorite anime. It'll always be my favorite anime. It may not be #1 anime of all time, but it's the reason why we have anime today, because it was one of the reasons why people got into it. Sure, you had Pokemon, you had Digimon, you had Sailor Moon, but Dragon Ball Z was the one that fucking bitch slapped that fucking needle to the near future, and I'm sorry for swearing in this, but it is what it is. So, guys, again, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Leave me a 5-star review if you enjoy it. You can email me at mitchlovesanime94@gmail.com to send me any suggestions. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment on any future ideas of the podcast that you would like to hear me talk about. And I will bid you all adieu. Hey guys, just before the theme song kicks in for the one last time of this episode, I want to thank you guys for getting this far, either listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube. I greatly appreciate all of you for watching my content. I don't know if all the videos are going to be around this time, but my goal is to keep at least a 30-minute video and a 30-minute podcast. If I do more in the future, I plan on trying to get people on to actually do this. So if you want to come on to the show and talk anime with me, let me know. I will hook you up with a Zoom hangout, because I do Zoom, and we will record the video for it, and we will put it out. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, tell them, hey, there's this dude with a microphone in his hand talking about anime. You might dig it, you might not. Check it out. Let's go and watch his video just to talk crap about him in the comment section. Hey, you, about to write in the comment section that I suck and everything else and that this anime's talk show is boring as hell. Guess what? You found my video. Guess what? You watched the first little bit of it. I win. So, I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoy the theme song. Link in the description of where to find it. Support the artist who made the song. Go and do the Patreon on that. I got permission to use it for the show. I don't have, I plan on buying it once I get music or more money for this. And hell, guys, come on. If you want me to do a Patreon for this and you want me to do some kind of shout out and videos and stuff, let me know. Leave me a comment or email me saying, hey, Mitch, you should do a Patreon. You should have some way of giving back to your fans in one way or the other. Hey guys, if I make money off of this, I'm happy. If I don't, I'm doing it just for the love of it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Let's roll that sick, sick theme music. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Talking Anime. If you like the theme song, link in the description of this podcast and video. And all my socials linked in the bottom. I'll see you guys next episode. Bye.